Round 76 of VV Gaming's Losers Bracket podcast. We got a couple great interviews lined up for you this week. Rod from NJHalo, as well as KindDaddyDMCA, Pokemon tournament organizer, will be here to discuss the upcoming event this weekend. Additionally, TestYourMight.com, World Combat site. We've got two of their admins on the show. We are looking at Storms as well as Krayzie Bone joining us here later in the episode. Please stay tuned. Additionally, this week we have a new co-host joining us. John Lunceford, also known as Phoenix in the gaming community, will officially be a part of the show now. John, we'd like to welcome you to the Losers Bracket crew. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. It's great to be on the show. I'm glad Jerry asked me to help out with it.
John, it's great to have you here. John, tell us a little bit about you. People who don't know you will ask the question, what qualifies John Lunceford, a.k.a. Phoenix, to be on the podcast show? So tell everyone your backstory, so to speak, in competitive gaming.
All right. Well, I started a long time ago. I'm 24 years old, and I started when I was about 16 in high school, got together with some buddies and actually played Counter-Strike and Warcraft 3 were the first games I ever played. Just played them casually and kind of grew from there and got involved with the Cyber Athlete Amateur League, was actually the first competition I ever played in. Kind of worked my way into consoles from there, actually. Halo was a huge game around my friends, and we played it all the time, went over to everybody's house and their garages and landed it and everything. And when Halo 2 came out, Xbox Live obviously was the huge thing that was added to that. So we got real involved with that. And that kind of spiraled into console gaming, period. With the Cyber Athlete Amateur League, I started working for them. And as you know, Cal was owned by the CPL. And so I started working with kind of the whole league and organizing things. And we ran a big Gears of War tournament when that game came out. And that was kind of my first step into serious competitive esports. After the CPL closed, I jumped into Major League Gaming and the World Cyber Games and got involved there playing and working. I worked for MLG in 2008. And also in 2008 was my first year with the World Cyber Games. I qualified for Team USA that year in Redstone, which is a massively multiplayer online game for those of you that don't know, and the same in 2009. So I was able to go to Germany in 2008 and China in 2009, and it was a great experience that kind of taught me about all of competitive gaming. And from there, I got real involved with just general esports, and my original game was always Gears of War. So as a lot of you know, I started Gal Nation, which is a Gears of War community site, and we just launched that this past Saturday, and we are really excited with the way everything is going.
Awesome, John. And in your sort of day life, you're coming up to be a college graduate here. Tell everyone where you went to school and what you're about to graduate in.
I went to school at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I'm graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Journalism and Mass Communication with a minor in Computer Science. So I spent some time working in the radio universe for 2 years. I covered Auburn University athletics. Even though I went to Alabama, I covered Auburn because I could be neutral about it. And, learned a lot there, learned a lot of production, a little bit on-air time, and it just kind of got me real interested in journalism, period. So I'm kind of coming at this from a professional level, not just as another gamer that wants to, talk on the podcast.
And I think, John, that makes you uniquely qualified to be on the show, and we're glad to have you. You and I have known each other for quite some time. We have a great history of working together and even disagreeing on things together. So I think having you on the podcast show is going to be fantastic. You could be one of those voices that will quickly dissent if he disagrees, and I look forward to those conversations.
I do too. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Jason, well, let's get to the news.
Sure thing, Jerry. Let's start out with some VV gaming news. We actually did just release our new team pages as well as our new live stream area on the site. So if you haven't had the chance, please head on over to VV Gaming's forums. Right above the shout box, you'll see some links to our new team pages, to our new live streams. Let us know what you think. Give us some feedback. I personally think they look pretty sleek, much more organized than it used to be. So you'll be able to find out information about all of our players, find out when they're streaming, what our players are doing, what kind of equipment they use even. Give us some feedback. Head on over to the site, check it out. Additionally, while we're talking about the team pages, I do want to make mention that we did just pick up another Call of Duty Black Ops team as well. Team Force would be their name. Smith, I believe you have some information about who makes up this team, if you could share with us.
I sure do. We have Team Force comprised of Domo, MPAC, Pikachu, Phobia. They are coached by Hydro, and they have Axide handling their stream.
Awesome. Yes, I am really glad that Team Force is joining us. To let you know, Phobia's dad, David, had reached out to us, and we went back and forth through a great many conversations. I thought what David and the other parents brought to the team, because the team themselves, they have a reputation for being very volatile, very argumentative at times. However, they are highly skilled. And when they are at LAN, obviously by their second place results in Columbus, they definitely could have done better. We are also doing something unique with Team Force. The parents have gotten involved in a very special way. We're going to be bringing on a very successful and highly competitive paintball champion who has actually been coaching the team and working with them. So we're really doing something different with Team Force. We're really looking at that parental involvement. We're looking to bring in outside people with the right attitude. And Dan, who has been talking to the team, he really was the person to really help me make the decision in conjunction with David, who is Phobia's father. It just really made sense. So at the end of the day, we love VVV Fly Society. They are with us. We are cheering them on. But with us not going with a Halo team, we did have some budget left over, and we decided that it was a good time to pick up a second Call of Duty team. Also, the Call of Duty community, I think, is trying very hard to do great things. So I think overall it's good for us. I mean, there's a lot of things happening in Call of Duty, and we're excited to have them. So I just want to personally welcome Team Force here.
Definitely huge welcome to Team Force. We look forward to cheering you as well as VV Fly Society on next week at MLG Anaheim. Really looking forward to catching those streams. Additionally, we are picking up another team very soon. The ever-popular Gears of War team Get Bronco will be joining VVV Gaming. Now, John, I do believe you have some information about this team as well, correct?
I do. Get Bronco is a team that was very successful towards the end of Gears of War 2, comprised of many successful players, especially Fallout, who has probably had the most success in the game. He has 2 third-place finishes in Gears of War National Championships and a second place at MLG Anaheim. All the players are very skilled, a very good team, and they have stayed together since the end of the season last year, which a lot of teams have not. So going into Gears of War 3, which is one of the most anticipated titles of the entire year, they're looking like a really strong force going in. So, Jerry, what made you pick up Get Bronco?
Well, I mean, I think there were really a couple factors. We really feel that we've put together the right formula. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, streaming, and obviously the ability to be interviewed, represent themselves real well, well-spoken. Get Bronco has a great chemistry as well as strong personalities. I mean, Fallout has been in VV Gaming numerous times. He got his start here on the second team behind, the very famous VV Vision. Now with Gears of War 3 coming out, he's come full circle, and I feel that in many ways, under Fallout's leadership, he brings a lot of chemistry, a lot of community support. I think John has a great vision for what Get Bronco will do as a Gears of War team, as well as people who are going to be supportive to help grow the VVV brand. John, I always think about it like this. In a lot of ways, VV Gaming has always been a part of Gears of War, but also it's such a volatile community. We've had, there have been times where we've been looked at as really great and other times where there's just been this sort of vile contempt for VV Gaming. It's been an interesting road. What are your thoughts on VVV's brand image in the Gears community?
It has been a rough road in Gears of War, just kind of in general, and I think the community will be the first people to admit that. However, as the game has grown over the years, and especially with Gears of War 3 coming out, I think a lot of people are trying to, take that better approach towards the whole community aspect, especially when it comes to, the bigger communities such as VVV Gaming. And I think that all the different community sites that are popping up are really trying to push the game forward so that when Gears of War 3 comes out, the whole community can really get behind it, and people who play the first game or the second game, everybody can really get behind it and behind the communities as well that really want to promote it and get it up to that next level that it needs to get to.
Yeah, and I hope that we can play a good part, not just by being a starting point for a lot of fresh players in the game, and hopefully identifying talent. I mean, I think by the time into Gears of War 2, I think there were 18 players on the pro circuit who got their start in VVV Gaming, players that nobody ever really gave the time of day to in the beginning. But, we got them 2 MLG events, got them competing, Fallout, Franchise, All-A-Vision back in '07. Later on, the Enmity, Uzi, just to name a few players. These are people who, in certain ways I felt people undervalued them because there was still that attitude of being known. And I hope we can do the same thing. And then we want to showcase a lot of talent. We want to take our Wednesday night StarCraft model and do something like a Sunday night Gears of War. And for those who don't know about our Wednesday night StarCraft that are in the Gears community, the way it would work is we would invite 2 Gears teams to play, and then we would probably have a second showcase of a VVV team versus another team. So we would show 2 matches. They would be cast. We'll get more details once we see how a spectator mode may or may not work in Gears of War 3. John, have you heard anything as far as whether or not there's a spectator mode confirmed, or is that still a lot of talk?
I think it's still a lot of talk right now. A lot of people are saying it will be in. However, I personally have not seen a spectator mode or a video showing spectator mode. However, for Comic-Con this weekend, Rod Ferguson and Cliff Blazinski will both be there and showing off a lot of things, including more Horde features, Beast Mode features, as well as some multiplayer features. So maybe that's something they'll show for us.
Yeah, I really hope so. I would love to have an answer definitively on that spectator mode. I do feel, though, with Sundance's positive tweet about Gears of War, knowing what Major League Gaming really likes to see in a game to make them able to cast it. Because in a lot of ways, I feel now it's all about the stream numbers. I mean, I really think that post-StarCraft, streaming has become probably front and center in Major League Gaming's efforts to monetize competitive gaming. What do you think, John?
I think you're right, and I think when you look at a game like League of Legends, especially, their DreamHack numbers got up to 200,000, and that's just unheard of usually when you think of a stream. So I think they're really going to be looking for that as a key priority when it comes to the game. Even if there isn't, it doesn't mean that it's like a death sentence for the game, but I do think it'll be something that will definitely push it to the forefront so that it can not necessarily compete with games like StarCraft and League of Legends, but also be up there and be a very well-streamed game.
And talking about StarCraft, I want to cover a little bit of StarCraft news here because something pretty significant happened this week that may have gone under the radar for some people because they may not be following certain aspects of StarCraft that closely. For those of you who don't, there is obviously a well-known Australian organization called FXO. They are sponsored by FXO Open, a website that is really about day trading, about trading, commodity stocks, that kind of stuff. And they have a house, I do believe it's in Malaysia, and FXO's been playing in Korea. Well, this week they announced that they are acquiring, not picking up, not forming a partnership, but acquiring the famous Korean team called FOU. That stands for 4R Utopia, FOU. And I see FXO doing a lot of things, spending a lot of money, but definitely determined to make an impact on competitive gaming, specifically competitive StarCraft. So, Jason, I mean, I know you mentioned to me earlier about the SK thing. What do you think about this compared to that? Because we didn't really talk about that before. So I want to give you an opportunity to kind of hop in and talk a little bit about your thoughts about what SK Gaming did and then compare it to what FXO is doing here.
Yeah, it really seems to me that a lot of people are really determined at the moment to make a big splash into StarCraft 2. And with the way that StarCraft 2 is providing stream numbers and the attention that it's getting right now, it makes sense. But the other story that Jerry was just mentioning is that SK Gaming did officially announce that they are forming a partnership with OGS, which includes players such as MC as well as Nada, one of the most famous players back from Brood War. So to see these companies such as SK and now FXO throwing this amount of money out, it's rather impressive and possibly even risky depending on how you look at it. The SK Gaming one in particular, because OGS will still be branded as such in South Korea. The only time that players such as MC and Nada will be branded as SK Gaming players will be outside of their Korean tournament scenes. So a lot of money being spent, which in the long run I suppose is a good thing because it helps competitive gaming. But at the same time, I can't help but feel that these moves are a little bit risky.
Yeah, I think there is some risk. I mean, SK Gaming is not the kind of organization I would necessarily second guess. They've been highly successful. They've been around for a very long time, and they know what they're doing. And looking at it, they haven't spent a lot of money in a while, to be fair. And I think they probably felt they had to do something big. And I think the spirit and the climate's right for these kind of partnerships. I mean, even VV Gaming, we reached out to Prime to have them attend our Wednesday night StarCraft. I think right now there's that spirit of cooperation. So I guess I understand why SK Gaming did it. I agree with you. It may be risky. Will it really do much? I mean, will the community just say, you know what? They may be representing SK Gaming, but they really are OGS's players. So we'll see how the community absorbs that. And I do agree. I mean, obviously FXO, I mean, they feel like I'm probably tainted because of all the Rupert Murdoch scandal in the UK right now, and he's Australian, and the Fox News tabloid story. But I feel like FXO is a little bit of that Rupert Murdoch, we're going to buy everything up kind of thing. And I've never been a fan of that model necessarily working. But obviously they will have a team of talented players. And to be honest, FXO did not do very well in the GSTL. I think they had one Korean player on their team, and that was the only player to win. When he came into the finals matches, into the playoffs, so to speak. I don't want to say it was the only player to win, but in critical matches. So, I mean, FXO clearly did not do well in the GSTL. And for those who don't know, GSTL is the Global StarCraft Team League, which is the team league version of the Global StarCraft League, also known as GSL. We'll see what happens, but I thought it was worth talking about since, it is interesting to see an Australian organization acquire and absorb a Korean team, a Korean house.
The next NJHalo event is right around the corner, and joining us once again is Rod Lane, the owner and operator of King of the Couch East Coast NJHalo. Rod, I want to welcome you back to the Losers Bracket, and how have things been since the last time you were here on the show?
Hey, great. Summer's here, the weather's nice, football's around the corner. Can't ask for anything else, man. We're so excited about this upcoming tournament. We're glad to be back on the show.
Most definitely. Really glad to have you back. And this upcoming event is going to be pretty packed full of awesome tournaments. We've got Smash Brothers Brawl. I believe VV Cheese will be there helping you out with that. Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Pokemon, and more, I do believe. Can you tell us a little bit about what's coming up this upcoming weekend?
Yeah, we have a full plate. We're going to be running Super Street Fighter Arcade, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Mortal Kombat, Pokemon Black White, Call of Duty Black Ops, Halo Reach, Super Smash Brothers Brawl, also NCAA 12 debut, our football sports game. That's going to be a big one. And we're going to do the Naruto card game. We have a couple guys that we met at a Pokemon convention, and we're going to do a card game. So we're going to try a little bit of everything. This is going to be a pretty big event.
That sounds awesome. Kind of curious here, what got you into Naruto? That seems like almost like an odd choice. I mean, does that have a big following around where you're at?
Well, actually, I was at the VGC, which is the big Nintendo Pokemon tournament they run, their national event that they run. There was one in New Jersey, and I ran into a couple guys that were playing this little card game similar to like the Pokemon cards, this and that. So I got into a conversation with them, told them what I did, and they said, we run these Naruto tournaments, and there's like a big championship coming in August. And if you have something in July, that'd be a good thing to segue into that big championship. So I said, wow. So I researched it. There actually is a large community of it for that game. And, we made the deal with the guys there, and we're going to have it on July 23rd.
Well, that sounds like that's going to be a great addition to the lineup. For those that will be in the New Jersey area this weekend, where is the event going to be held at? And what are the times, the events, things of that nature?
The event's going to be held in Morristown, New Jersey. That's Morristown, New Jersey. I spell it out because there is a Morristown, New Jersey, and then there's a Morristown. Morristown is in Morris County, New Jersey, North Jersey, closer to New York City. It's going to be held at the Hyatt Headquarters Plaza Hotel. We have a giant ballroom, especially at the request of the Smash Brothers community. We have an incredible sized ballroom, and it's going to be held at 11 o'clock is the registration, so we're excited about the whole thing.
Rod, I want to clarify that again because I think that is important. The Morristown that you're talking about is the one right off 287. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
You're just by Hanover and Madison and Mendham, all that, right?
You've done your research. That's perfect. Yep.
Yeah, well, I want to make sure because we've got people that are going to be heading that way, that everybody sort of has a really good feel for where they're going, and that if they're not anywhere near 287, they are in the wrong place.
Yeah, that would put them in Morristown, which is down closer to Philadelphia. That's almost 2 hours away, so you got to be careful. So it's Mars. Everything is on our website. The proper spelling's on the VVV forums, and hopefully we'll get everybody there in a timely manner and have a great tournament.
Rod, I think everybody's really excited to come to this event. Everybody has been itching to get to something on the East Coast. They want to play some games. They've got a wide variety. I mean, you guys are going to put on a great show. My question for you, here we are before the event. What are your challenges? What have been the toughest parts for you right now?
Well, being on the East Coast, the weather is beautiful out here. The only thing about it on the East Coast is we only get about 8 good weeks of good weather. So that July and August, you're competing with the Shore, the Jersey Shore, Snooki, and all those people. You're dealing with amusement parks, Six Flags. So it's actually a tougher sell to get gamers in for the summertime because they want to enjoy this beautiful weather. So the challenges are always to try to create hype for an event. So what we did is we're only going to have one summer event this year instead of we usually do 2 or 3. So we brought it down to 1. So we feel that would create a lot more anticipation, which it has. And we're looking for a packed house. Also, with our working with VVV Gaming, we're happy to bring on VVV Cheese this year for this Smash Brothers event. He's going to be coordinating the event. He couldn't be on the show tonight because he's actually traveling from California from another Smash Brothers event. He's been very excited about the event, putting the word out, and it's going to be great.
I can tell you that not only is our community excited, this event will actually be the first one that we are actually going to have our own VVV barbecue in conjunction with the event for our community. One of our own members, VVV Krayzie, was kind enough on the 23rd after the event to have those VVV people come over and enjoy some free food because he is from the area there in New Jersey. So we are excited, to say the least, and people are looking forward because the last event was in Columbus that, some of the people got to see each other. And with Brawl off the circuit, a lot of our brawlers haven't been able to really connect with the rest of the community. And of course, those local in New Jersey, they're not going to get an event. Anaheim now is West Coast. So obviously a lot of East Coast players may not be able to afford to travel. So they're hungry for an event. And I think this is coming at a great time. For us, it's going to be fantastic. So I want to thank you again for holding this event.
Yeah, just please also encourage all the VVV gamers to wear their shirts. There'll be discounted rates for them, special promotions, etc. We're going to really enjoy this partnership. It's going to be a great time.
Absolutely. So again, to the VV community, you guys always ask me. I tell you the same thing, and I'll say it one more time. You will get a discount coming in to the King of the Couch event. So make sure that you always do, but make sure you've got your VV shirt on. Take lots of pictures. Tell everyone. We definitely want to see the event grow. So the pictures that are being taken, those are the kind of pictures that you, Rod, will be able to show to other potential partners to hopefully get more prizes and more support for future events, right?
Absolutely. It's beneficial to have groups such as VVV associated with the King of the Couch events. They bring such a enthusiasm, positive energy, and just a love for the game. So the more people that we have, the more quality events we can bring this forward to different sponsors and help enhance our events as a whole. One of the things that we have brought in lately was Pokemon. The last time we did a Pokemon event, the first time actually, it was incredible. And we're definitely looking forward to our second Pokemon event. And my coordinator is KindDaddyDMCA, is probably one of the most popular Pokemon personalities. Not probably, definitely one of the most popular Pokemon personalities in the world.
And like magic, when Rod says that, we are able to introduce for the first time on the Losers Bracket KindDaddyDMCA himself. KindDaddyDMCA, welcome to the Losers Bracket. How are you?
I'm doing good, Jerry. Thanks for having me on the show.
For those who may not know your background, your involvement, and what makes you so well known to the Pokemon community, tell us a little bit about you and your involvement and how you got started in the Pokemon community and what your role is today, the things you're involved with.
Okay, it's a pretty loaded question there. Well, anyway, I've been doing YouTube and it's let me be specific about it. It's competitive battling with Pokemon. There's a lot of different aspects of that game. And a couple of years back, it was one of a couple of games that I played, and I got into the whole YouTube thing of uploading different video game content there. And Pokemon just seemed to be what took off the most. And there's not many people out there that really were into it at the time. It's a really great game, but over the years, I put together a couple of different channels, and being one of the top people in the world for Pokemon right now on YouTube. Put together, in particular, this one channel called Pokemosh Pit, and that in itself is the single biggest competitive battling Pokemon channel on YouTube today. Is a partnered channel, and basically we have all the top players throughout the world upload their battles there. So it's been pretty good, and it's progressing over 100 new members per day on an average day. So doing very well there. And I guess Rod one day was when Pokemon Black and White came out, he saw how many people were in the store going to buy it, so he went and looked into Pokemon. And I guess he came across me just doing a Google search on Pokemon battles or something along the lines of that. So being from Connecticut, pretty close over to New Jersey, he contacted me, and we ran our first Pokemon tournament. Was that about 2 months ago? We had a really great showing. Only advertising we did was in a couple of the local GameStops and on some of my YouTube channels. Pretty much take it from there, but it's really been doing great and getting great responses on it, and really sort of bring that competitive game out into the whole tournament bracket, because no one else does it at this point.
And that brings me to my next question, because I myself know very little about the competitive Pokemon scene. What other events, what other tournaments are they online? Assume that our audience knows nothing, well, and don't have to assume, I do know nothing about competitive Pokemon. Can you give everybody sort of an overview of where competition is happening and where King of the Couch fits into that whole thing?
Well, first off, Pokemon in itself, it's a person versus person video game that normally you'd link up online. For online tournaments, we run them through our YouTube channel and so forth pretty often, usually anywhere from 200 to a couple thousand people entered into a tournament. As far as live tournaments, Nintendo had set up some of their own, they call it the VGC and video game championships, but they don't follow any of the really competitive rules for it. So it's kind of like it's all we got, but it's kind of considered a joke at the same time. And then Rod putting together this whole King of the Couch thing, it really is the first larger and professional tournaments being put on today for Pokemon and using the competitive rule sets. So again, it's a one-on-one game. It's all strategy-based, turn-based. I'd probably say most similar to like playing someone against chess. Really taking it from there, King of the Couch is pretty much opened up and opened the gates to doing this live and with the real competitive moves, competitive rules, and so forth.
Rod, for you, what has this been as far as your first event? Obviously, you were happy enough to do it again and obviously invite King Daddy to come onto the show. So what has been your experience? Because obviously you've got a long history of Halo. What are you liking the most about the Pokemon community and their presence at your events?
Well, for one thing, it's bring your own console, if you want to say. It's run on a Nintendo DS. A lot of people associate Pokemon with the cards, but there's also a big following on the Nintendo DS. So basically, it's a no-nonsense type situation where they just tables and chairs is what you need. You need a good hype man, good personalities, in which I have in King Daddy DMAC, and no electricity, no setting up stuff the night before, dragging in 50-pound consoles, none of that. The customers bring their own DSs, and as long as you have the right people involved, King Daddy DMAC and his staff are excellent, and it just goes by itself. The kids are incredibly well behaved. The parents that come along, it's just a great group of people, and it adds just another dimension to what we have. And also, when it comes to sponsors and everything, it just brings in another demographic that we can hit. Younger kids, different things. They offer different opportunities that some sponsors want to see, and that's also great. So basically, the combination of being a great group of kids, it's a low maintenance type thing, and if you have the best people in the world around you, which I try to do with whatever I do as far as the gaming, because I don't know everything about all the games. So what I do is I surround myself by the best. Bringing in King Daddy DMAC has been a great blessing, and we hope to expand this and just make it bigger and bigger.
That is awesome. That's quite the endorsement there. King Daddy DMAC, a question for you. Rod has obviously been on the show before, and we know his background in gaming and what he does outside of gaming as a teacher. What do you do outside of your involvement in Pokemon? What's the sort of school work? What's a day in the life of King Daddy DMAC like?
All right. Well, I graduated a few years back from Ithaca College and got a degree in business with a concentration in finance. And I really haven't pursued as far as the finance opportunities that I'd have very much, but I've been putting together, especially lately, trying to put together this whole Pokemon thing into a business. I am currently being paid for, I think I have 4 partnered YouTube channels right now. So that does bring quite a bit of income in, at least for me to get by. Really, I'm spending most of my days getting different videos from different talents throughout the world, submitting in to either Poke Mosh Pit, or else I also have an LP channel, a channel that uploads Call of Duty, uploads fighting games, different things like that. Basically, just sort of being like their agent, so to speak, as well as being the owner of the business, and just helping them to improve and do better and get more of a presence on YouTube in general. Right now, I've been looking quite a bit into getting an internet site taken off, type of thing that until I get everything the way I want it perfect, I'm not going to actually do a launch, but that will be pokemoshpit.com. As far as other things, I've done everything from deliver specimens for hospitals to I sold cars for quite a while as a marketing director for internet marketing director for Toyota before the whole recession hit. But I keep coming back to video games has really kind of been my passion, and being able to find something that I can do that one is able to make enough income that I can get by on it, but two, be able to be around these different people on a daily basis is just incredible. So that's really what I've been trying to pursue right now is this whole video gaming thing, and being able to, Rod is the first person that brought me in to doing any type of live tournaments. Everything I had done had always been over the internet, so that adds just another dimension to it. It has been a lot of fun, and I love meeting the different people that are, one, interested in the game, but two, fans of mine that I never think I'd be able to put a face to the name. So it's really been a rush.
Awesome. That's like coming full circle. Well, I know Rod has a good eye for talent, and he's a good judge of people, and I think you coming back again to do Pokemon again is that's all we need to hear. I know you gentlemen are busy, but before I let you go, starting with you, King Daddy DMAC, I want to give you guys a chance to give any shout outs or anything like that before we let you go. King Daddy, go ahead.
All right. Well, I just want to make clear too, at these tournaments, although I'm the person that Rod mainly deals with, I bring in quite a big crew of people, and I just wanted to say thank you. These are all YouTubers. To the Killer Nacho, Tim, to Sucker for Jessica, to Magnitude, to Moody Pawns, and also to Hayden and the whole Poke Mosh Pit crew. Been great in helping me through this endeavor. And I just want to keep on marching on and keep this going. And thank you, VVV fans, for taking the time to listen to us tonight. And I look forward to seeing you guys again.
And one more time, King Daddy DMAC, if people wanted to learn more about Pokemon and more about watching some of the contests and fights between the top players, where should they go?
Come check us out on YouTube at Poke Mosh Pit. That's POKEMOSHPIT, Poke Mosh Pit. And you could also check out my personal channel at KindDaddyDMCA at YouTube.
And Rod, sir, from being the history teacher for MLG Nexi to now introducing King Daddy DMAC and reaching out and letting VV Gaming be a part of these great events, I know you've got plenty of people that you give a shout out to, sir. So by all means, take the time you need to give your shout outs.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for having us on again. This VV community and this connection has been great. It's been awesome. We've been informally dealing with each other for years, but now this formal partnership is definitely a great thing. I just want to shout out the guys from EA Sports. I did a lot of work with them. I was down there a couple weeks ago for a week. This new NCAA football is incredible. We have the event on July 23rd. Will be featuring that, so we look for everybody to come and play that game. Of course, a shout out to King Daddy DMAC and also his crew for the Pokemon. Those guys are incredible. VVV Cheese, our Smash coordinator. We're looking forward to big things from him. And basically, you can find out information on NJHalo.com, which is my original website, or we can go to KOTCNation.com. And there you'll see either one of those sites. You'll see tabs on the different games that we have, Pokemon, Smash Brothers, whatever we have. And thanks again for having us on, guys. It was a blast.
Kombat has been making huge splashes in the tournament scene, and we actually have just picked up a couple players, and one of them is going to be joining us this week on the Losers Bracket. We are welcoming Glenn, a.k.a. Krayzie Bone, one of the admins from TestYourMight.com, joining us. Glenn, welcome to the Losers Bracket, and how are you doing tonight, sir?
Thank you. I'm doing great.
Awesome. We are really glad to have you. Tell us, how's your experience been with VV Gaming so far, and tell us a little bit about yourself as well for the people that don't know exactly who Krayzie Bone is.
VV Gaming has been really good. Ever since I actually started joining the site and everything, it just looked great, from supporting the community, and they've supported us back. It's been great. I myself, am an administrator next to Storms, and we've been pushing the scene for Mortal Kombat for, let's say, probably like a year, 2 years already. We started out by just, playing online, and then I got to a point where we were looking at the Street Fighter community, and we're like, why not us? We should have that. So we've been pushing it. At the start of TestYourMight.com, we didn't have as many members, but today, it's flowing well, and we're looking forward to the Evolution tournament that should be next week, and hope to see everybody there too.
And you personally are going to be going and representing VV Gaming at EVO. Tell us a little bit about your playstyle, what you hope to do there, who you play, and I'm assuming you've got to be excited. Is this your first EVO? Tell us about the experience you're looking to have.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this Evolution, since this is the first one that's actually picked up Mortal Kombat. So this is actually my third EVO. Past two, I joined Street Fighter. They didn't have any MK, but this technically should be my first Mortal Kombat Evolution tournament, so I'm pretty excited about that. Definitely looking forward to competing and placing very well. I have a couple of characters I have in the lab right now, practicing it up. And when I get to to my hotel in Las Vegas next week. Gonna practice with some of the other folks there and have some fun.
That's very exciting to hear that the Mortal Kombat scene is continuing to grow. And of course, we are looking to build our own Mortal Kombat division with your help as well. Can you tell us some of the things that you're looking to do with this Mortal Kombat division and how maybe Test Your might be a part of this?
Yeah, definitely. We're looking forward to having our players, represent VVV at countless tournaments. And for a while, you heard about, Street Fighter players having their divisions and whatever team there is out there, but never Mortal Kombat until now. Teams are starting to come up, and VVV Gaming is one of them. And I'm thinking that, we're going to have a really solid team with us and looking forward to represent all the way.
And Krayzie, we are excited to have you here in VV Gaming, and I think you guys are going to do a great job. Now, we also have with us tonight from TestYourMight.com, Storms, who has been in the Mortal Kombat community for quite some time, as Krayzie was telling us. Storms, welcome to the Losers Bracket. How are you this evening?
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, and I'm doing great. How are you?
Awesome. Well, Mortal Kombat may very well have its due with this title. But for those who may not know a lot about Mortal Kombat, you've been in the scene a while. Tell everyone a little bit about your background and then how Test Your Might got started.
Okay, well, me personally, I've been involved with Mortal Kombat since '05 when Mortal Kombat Deception came out, and played it heavily online. When On-Game came out, I kind of lost a little bit of focus in the community just because some changes in life. But, I got back into it not too long afterwards. And when I got back into it, I kind of, in a way, just dove into it head first because there's just so much I want to do, and collaborated with Krayzie. There's a lot of ideas that we had, and it was one of the things where we just wanted to create our own thing. Test Your Might was basically formed of our ideas, our plans, our goals, and, at one point, and we still do, just not as often, him and I would talk on AIM, literally every day or several times a day, going over ideas, plans, events, what we're going to do. That's basically how it started.
Tell us a little bit about, if you don't mind, what you sort of envision being where Test Your Might will fit into the Mortal Kombat community. Do you see this as the primary hub for competitive Mortal Kombat, or do you have something broader in mind? Give us a little bit of idea of the sort of vision you have. Say, 6 months from now, where would you like to see Test Your Might at?
Well, and that's an interesting question because when we first started out, I didn't imagine Test Your Might to become, what it is now, and I believe that with the help of other, or basically brother and sister sites, ClassicMK.com and UltimateMK.com, Test Your Might has basically become the central hub for, competitive Mortal Kombat. I mean, there's tons of other MK sites out there, and, a lot of great ones. But as far as, just our members and, what we're about, it's grown to a point where if you would ask me, day one, do you think this would happen, I would have probably laughed and just said, that'd be like, winning $1 million. Just like it'd be great, but, the chances of that happening are just so slim. But, a lot of things have happened to us that I just have never imagined. But as far as, where we're going to be in 6 months from now, all I can say is it's going to be promising. Like I said before, there's not a day that goes by that we do not, have plans or discuss ideas. We're always moving forward pretty much.
Scott, you bring up an excellent point. It's great to be in a position where you have some good breaks, but also it's that hard work that you talked about. Anybody who's interested in building their own website or starting a community site, the hard work, the part of the hard work is really about building relationships with key personalities, building relationships with other communities, building relationships with top players. All of those things have to be managed, and they have to be done well in order to have a successful website. Now, aside from doing all that, are you guys going to be doing any streaming? What other things for the community specifically will you guys be doing?
Well, we have a few members that do streaming, goes by Digimon Emperor, and there's also Phil that goes by 9.95 on the site. They do It's called the Valley Stream Monsters on Thursday nights. I believe it starts at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and that goes until midnight. And you have players such as Rio, Dark Robin, and a bunch of other guys. Besides streaming, and keep in mind there will be other possibilities of streaming in the future. But other than that, we have we would think like exclusive, like MK news as far as what we cover, and is a lot different than a lot of the other MK sites out there I cover.
In particular, you guys obviously are going to be focusing on some of the competitive aspects of Mortal Kombat in your discussions, in your guides, even in some of the other things. Are you one personally? Do you attend any LAN events or have any plans to go to any events?
Yes, my next event, unfortunately, will not be Evo. Won't be able to make it to that. My next guaranteed event will be a Summer Jam that is in August in Philadelphia.
Awesome. And we'll be putting out information about that event. And also it's our understanding that at the end of August, Major League Gaming Rally will have another MK event. Krayzie, I was going to get back to you on something. As a part of Test Your Might, give us some of your favorite aspects about the Mortal Kombat community. You're out there, you're fighting, you're talking to people. For someone who is new to the Mortal Kombat community, what do you say are some of the best parts of it?
As far as the community goes, an example could be the fundraiser we did for Rio, which was to get him to Evo. We made a donation drive, and everybody just came together, to keep the competitive atmosphere at Evo 2K alive for Mortal Kombat. They made it happen. Rio got enough money to get there. Everybody else is, if they need a hotel room, we have a thread started on there where people could ask, oh, can I stay with you? Can I crash with you for Evo? And everybody's more than happy to help out.
I'm really glad you brought that up. One of the things that really surprised me, obviously Rio is not yet in VV Gaming. We're not going to decide who our sponsored players are until after the Evo event. But this community immediately realized he was having financial difficulty, and they immediately jumped on it and said, you know what, we want to let everybody know if they want to see Rio play, we're going to need to help him out. And I thought it was really great to see how quickly other Mortal Kombat players, not only did they put it up on Test Your Might, both on Twitter, using social media, coming to the site, making sure that I was aware of it. Everybody wanted to, let everyone know that, hey, here's a great player that people want to see play Mortal Kombat. What can this community do? And they answered the call, and he's going to Evo. So I think that is just fantastic. Gentlemen, I know that running a site takes a lot of time, and you are both busy. And before we let you go, though, starting with you, Storms, I'm going to give you an opportunity to give any shout-outs, anything like that. All you, sir.
Actually got my list here, so I don't forget anyone. Of course, ultimatemk.com. I'd like to give a shout to them. TopsMK.com, TRMK. Glad to get your tournament. Mark Mann with SC Tekken, he's helped us out a lot. Alex Valley, his Level Up series. The Chevaloo, Traveling Circus, and Alex Chevalier, the CEO. And, of course, VVV Gaming. And I thank you guys for having me.
I want to wish you the most success you can have with Test Your Might. I think it's fantastic what you're doing. Good luck. And Krayzie, before we let you go, any shout-outs, any last words?
Big-time shout-outs to everybody who got together to help Rio get out there. Big shout-outs to everybody who's going to attend Wednesday night fights this Wednesday. Everybody came together to join and say, we're not dead. We're here alive. We're supporting the community and getting ready for Evo. Shout-outs to MKO, MKU, everybody on testyourmight.com. Of course, VVV Gaming for this podcast and the future contributions for the Mortal Kombat community.
That's awesome, gentlemen. And yes, we will also be supporting Mortal Kombat on Friday nights. We are going to do Friday Night at the Fights, where we're going to do something very similar to what we're doing in our Wednesday Night StarCraft series. We want to get a lot of hype around Mortal Kombat. We hope to see it on Major League Gaming's Pro Circuit. We're optimistic that there's a lot of opportunity there, so we're here to support. Gentlemen, I want to thank you both so much for being on the Losers Bracket.
Thank you.
Thank you.
want to send out a huge thank you to all of our guests today. Rod Lane from NJHalo, KindDaddyDMCA here on the show, the guys from TestYourMic.com, Krayzie Bone, and Storms. Thank you guys all so much for joining us here. Also, a big shout out here to our new co-host, Mr. John Lunceford. John, thank you again for joining us, and I definitely look forward to having you back in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure.
For sure. One more note before we end up wrapping this episode. I do want to let everybody know that a lot more details have been released on the Devastation event later this year, coming up October 2011. If you'd like to find out more details, please head on over to the VVV Gaming forums. We've got everything above our shout box. You can take a look there. Additionally, you can find out information at devastationevent.com. List of tournaments including games such as Marvel vs. Capcom, Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Smash Brothers, Gears of War, Halo Reach, Guitar Hero, Rock Paper Scissors even, push-up contest. There's a ton of different things, and it's only one price that you pay to enter every tournament for the entire weekend. As much as you can fit in, you'd be able to do. So if you're going to have some free time in October of this year, or if you can schedule some free time for yourself, make plans to head on out to Phoenix, Arizona this coming October. The dates are the 6th through the 9th. I went last year. It was an absolutely amazing time. I cannot recommend it enough. And Jerry, I know you'll be there as well, correct?
Absolutely, I'll be there. And I want to throw something else out there. A lot of players who say, Lord Jareth, when are we going to see you on the West Coast? I'm going to be at Devastation. I'm looking forward to it. Jedi Rob is going to put on a fantastic show like he does every year. We have Sir Scoots from EG there who's going to be managing the streams. We have a great team being the tournament director from Hotkey for StarCraft. There are great prizes. It's a great venue. Like Jason already mentioned, one price gets you into all of these. A rock, scissor, paper tournament. How can you not do that? I myself may even have to get involved. If nothing, it'll make for a funny photo op. Our Rhythm Gaming division is there. One other thing, and I'm going to say this, well, maybe a couple times before then, but pay attention to me when I tell you. Evil Genius's CEO is going to be there. VV Gaming CEO is going to be there. There'll be people looking at talent and looking at players, and there will be some top players there from EG, from VV Gaming. This is the kind of event you go to network, to have fun, to support gaming, and to really just have a good time in a great place in Phoenix, Arizona. I highly recommend everyone go. I'll be there. You should be too. And by the way, we have a special discount code, VVV. Use it to get $5 off.
Definitely. Thank you to Jedi Rob for providing us with that promotional code. So if you want $5 off your ticket into Devastation, just throw in the promotional code VVV. I can speak from experience at last year's event when they did the push-up contest. It was incredibly entertaining to watch. I have no doubts in my mind that this year's will top last year's from everything that I have read. But alas, all that aside, we have come to the end of the Losers Bracket for this week. I want to give a big shout-out to all of VV Gaming sponsors, SteelSeries, Gamer Grub, Control Freak, MusicSkins.com, and of course Custom Ink. Another big shout-out to the band that provides all the music you hear every week on our show. That would be Power Glove. If you haven't checked them out, check out their latest CD, Saturday Morning Apocalypse, and they can be found right now touring the country on the Summer Slaughter Tour. Big thank you as well to VV Gaming's community. Your feedback and support is what keeps this podcast going. We do appreciate all of your comments and concerns. Be sure to stop by our podcast homepage. The website would be vvvgaming.podbean.com. And you can also subscribe to us on iTunes. Just search for VVV Gaming. We'll pop right up, and you can download our episodes right there to your smartphones, to your MP3 players. Take us on the road with you. You can email us at thelosersbracket@vvv-gaming.com, and you can also follow us over on Twitter. There we are simply known as Losers Bracket. Once again, big shout-out to our guests this week, Rod from NJHalo, KindDaddyDMCA, the guys from TestYourMic.com, Krayzie Bone and Storms. We do appreciate you coming on the show and sharing all the things that are coming up for all of you. We look forward to the NJHalo event this weekend, and MLG Anaheim is next week, guys. We've got to be stoked about that. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I personally will see you here next week.
I just want to give a special shout-out to Mr. John Lunceford. I really look forward to working with you in the future.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm really glad to join the podcast now with Jerry, Smith, and Jason, and I look forward to the future.
All right, everybody, stay safe. Get your Devastation tickets, and we'll catch you next week on the Losers Bracket. Have a good one, everybody.